Hey friends, Dustin here. You're watching the Life of Lynn channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Today, I am working on my giant pile of 2006 Jayako Eagle. Must be foreign or something. Anyway, if some of you guys know, I bought this thing about a little over a year ago. Completely destroyed, full of mice, disgusting, and needed to be burned down. But I had good bones, so I spent an entire year remodeling it. And I'm just finishing up on the last couple things on it. It's a pretty good trailer, but last year I took it out at the end of the season, and we went to the lake, and it was 103 degrees, and this thing would not keep up. So, you know, even with the brand new 15,000 BTU air conditioner, just too much space and too much exposed exterior, because at the lake around here, no trees, so this thing was basking in the sun the whole time. I have since sealed it up, if you will, insulated the floor, and put a ceramic coat on the roof, so that should help. But also I'm doing some other stuff. See, some birds, they got into the front overhang here. Let's take a look here. Yeah, floor and everything's fine, but they crawl up through here, and then they can meander about. As you can see, some bird dirt. Very nice of them to leave. They no longer live here, so I decided to start my repairs. Also got a little bit of water that got into this part here, which is no big deal. This is just some salvage wood, basically, for stapling up the tin. So I'm going to clean all this, and then we're going to do real insulation. Yep, there's a 2-inch foam board with thermal backing on it here. I'm going to glue that all up underneath the front end, add to our insulation, and then wherever else I can put this stuff is going to be stuffed, glued and sealed, and then I'll put the front end back together. But not only that, guys, I've got to show you something exciting. Very excited about this. This is basically what the whole episode's about. Let's go check it out. Right here, folks, is a brand new CountryMod RV air conditioner. Now, this is not just any RV air conditioner. Yeah, it's a pretty good size. It's pretty heavy. Comes with the interior panel and everything for just your regular 14-inch hole that's going to be cut over roof vents and air conditioners in basically every RV anyway. But what's special about this is it's only 12 volts. Guys, this thing runs on batteries. And it only pulls about 300 watts with the compressor on. This is a new DC inverter style air conditioner, extremely high efficiency, and still puts out 10,000 BTUs while only sucking down, I think it's like rated at 290 watts on eco mode. So that's fantastic. Guys, I'm going to put enough of these solar panels here. Yep, those guys there. They're 180 watts each. Just 2 of those, maybe 3 on the roof, and this, and I will be able to have solar powered RV air conditioning. Now, I will be leaving the original 15,000 BTU air conditioner, which I'll show you where that is in a second on the roof. But I have 2 more roof vents. So the roof vent up over the master bedroom is now getting its own air conditioner. Conduct that in through this. I'll be running a 12-volt line to the new air conditioner. Gonna do it the easy way. Gonna be taking the lines right to the roof vent up there. That's the roof vent for the factory refrigerator, which I no longer have because I've already installed a residential style unit, so I don't need to vent that up there. So we're gonna be running our lines right down here. That's gonna give us access to the floor and go over here to our battery access. So we'll be able to wire that up, put some fuses on that, put this bad girl up there, and wire up some solar panels to keep the batteries topped off. I do have some lithium batteries up in the front that's also wired in to our original battery compartment. They're on their own circuit, but they're combined with a 30-amp fuse, so I can draw power from the whole system right up front. But first, I'm going to go ahead and slam this thing back together, clean it up, and then we'll talk about adding that air conditioner. It's going to run off of solar power. Okay, well, I made a bit of a mess, but you know, she's more insulated now. Take a gander. Yep, very good. Lots of foam. And, you know, sealed up in areas where it wasn't sealed up before. Now, I do want to replace all this aluminum because it's all bent and, well, disgusting, for one. So I'd like to replace it with, like, some nice diamond plate. all the way across the top and down the front here. I'd really clean this ugly thing up a little bit, you know, and a paint job, but we'll get to that later. For now, I think I'm just gonna tack the tin back up, you know, and replace these couple of boards that it needed. But other than that, this front end piece will be done for now because I got a trip coming up in a week and I don't think I have time to get all the diamond plate ordered because I need big sheets of it. So let's switch back to the CountryMod. Okay, we're gonna throw this thing on, guys. It's just like a regular RV air conditioner. Excited to see what we can do here. Now you do have to run pretty good sized gauge wiring to your battery and of course a fuse block because this sucker is gonna pull like, you know, 40 or 50 amps because we're looking at low voltage DC, right? So 12 volts, the lower the voltage, the higher the amperage, so the thicker the cable you need. That's why high voltage lines run at like, you know, 100,000 volts or, you know, whatever, because you can run a smaller line because the voltage is higher, which means the amperage is lower, essentially. So we'll have to run, I believe, 4 or 5 gauge wiring to this thing. No big deal. Look at your user manual if you're throwing one of these guys in. She's a mess in here, getting ready to get it finished up, but you know, we got some work to do. You know me, last minute, haven't touched this thing in 6 months. Now that it's a week away from being used, it's time to do everything all at once. Yep, it's a mess. We'll finish up those couple of things later. This is the roof vent I'm taking out. Let's get some lights on, huh? Okay. As you can see, way over there, there's our 15,000 BTU regular RV AC. We'll be installing our 12 volt, 10,000 BTU unit right here in the master bedroom. Kind of aim the vents out that way to help blow it into that area. But of course, the master bedroom here, oh, it's going to be nice and air conditioned. I won't be sweltering like I was last year. So we're just going to pop these screws out, pop the screws out around the vent, drop the interior, then we'll go up to the roof. Well, some of you guys might remember when we remodeled this whole thing, we went ahead and resealed and coated the roof in a ceramic coating. And as you can see, it's holding up really well. The roof is in actually okay shape. Only needed a patch right here. Clearly, that's holding up. Looks good. Now, I did glue this thing down, but I think because of the roof coating, the silicone kind of helps prevent new sealants from sticking to it. So once you do this roof coating, you pretty much can't use anything other than this on the roof forever until you replace the whole roof, which I'm sure it's going to need someday. But right now, looking pretty good. About a year old, holding up real well. So this guy, I just had it screwed down, ran through some putty, and then ran some sealant around it. But it came off pretty easy. Now the actual vent, on the other hand, is going to have all the screws that go all the way down into the wood, and it's going to have the original lap sealant tying it to the original roof here with our roof coating over the top of it. So this is going to be a little bit harder to get off. It's going to be a bit of a challenge not to ruin the roof in the process. As you can see, lap sealant's still movable, but there's a roof coating on top of it. We might have to cut the roof to get it flat. That way our air conditioner gasket sits flat on this. But if we cut the roof, we're gonna have to come back with some rubberized roof repair tape and just do a new seam around the edge and bring our sealant line further out so that the gasket for the air conditioner can sit on that nicely. We'll see if we can pry it off, but I'm betting that's what we have to do. Let's find the screws. This is a fun process, guys. If you've ever done this, you take a screwdriver or a little razor blade and you find the corner, and then you got to find a screw head. You know, it's buried in there. It's deep somewhere. Yeah, it's going to take some time. Anyway, once you find your first screw head, the next one's going to be like 2 inches down, and then another 2 inches. Then it just kind of keeps going all the way around. So you got to find all those, take the sealant off the heads so your screw gun can, you know, fit in there and turn them. Zip out all those, and then we'll see about prying it off. Wish me luck. All right, last screw is out of there. That only took about 30 minutes. But hey, look, I got this off. And since we were just in here not too long ago, this is all basically prepared for an air conditioner already. Look how thick the roofs are. Good size on these guys. Good size on the Giaco E-Eagles for sure. Okay, well, here's the deal. Roof's in good shape here. Don't really want to cut it off. And I don't think I have enough the roof tape to go around this and fix it if I do cut it off. That, and it would have to be sticking to our roof coating, which is silicone based, which means it wouldn't want to stick to it because, you know, nothing sticks to silicone. So since this stuff's still soft and pliable, I think we're just going to set the air conditioner right on top of it and then just tighten it down real tight and hopefully squish all this down and still seal. If it leaks, you know, then I'll come up here and cut it and buy some roof tape. But for now, I think this is going to work. We're just going to clean this and get the air conditioner up here, which is a chore. You know, I used to be able to carry those up a ladder by myself. Yeah, not a strong young man anymore. So we're going to go get the tractor, put it in the tractor bucket, and bring it up to probably the slide out edge where I can just pick it up and plop it down here. And we can figure out our wiring to get back there. I kind of forget how big this thing is because, you know, $2,800 is not very much money to pay for something of this size, even if it needed a lot of work. But it's just, I mean, my master bedroom is just towering over me. I got the tractor here, luckily. It got it most of the way up. It's at least touching the side of the slide out there. I'm going to crawl up on the roof and grab it and pull it up on there, and then we'll slide it on over. So luckily, I got that thing to help me out, but two people can shuffle one of these up a ladder. I've done it many a times before. Or if you lower the front landing gear all the way down and then put an extension ladder coming off the front nose like this, and then wedge it into the back of a truck so it can't slip out. Then you can just slide it up it. Done that as well. Whew, it is getting quite warm outside, and that means on top of the roof of the shop here, it's really hot. Feels like about 100 degrees. Triple digits. Yeah, it's that time of year again. Actually, today's is July 1st, so happy 4th of July. That's probably when this video is going to come out, so we got that going for us. I popped the top off this unit here. Figured you guys would want to see what she's all about here. So let's take a look. Things I'm seeing. Composite frame. So, you know, plastic, not a metal tray like traditional American style RV air conditioners have a metal frame, although I think they're getting away from that, even in the Domestics and stuff. We got our styrofoam box here. This is going to have our evaporator core in it. So we got our heat fan here. It's going to be pulling the heat off of our condenser core. So that's good. So two separate fans. That's neat. Really am liking what I'm seeing here, actually. Obviously a 12-volt DC compressor there. Wow, look at this. Holy smokes. Serviceable lines? Now that's something that the big RV manufacturers stay away from, because this ends up forcing a lot of people to buy brand new air conditioners when you could have had a guy come out and recharge it. On the stuff that's out now to recharge it, they got crimp lines and solder joints and stuff like that. And a lot of guys just don't like doing that. It's kind of getting to be an older craft. So this allows guys like me to be able to recharge these. That's very nice. Clearly, you know, a lot of parts come from other countries in here because, you know, here in America, we don't make these compressors. We don't make this solenoid box inverter deal. Got our 3 lines coming out. You know, we just don't make a lot of this stuff anymore. I wish we did, but the fact of the matter is we don't, so we got to get it from somewhere. But build quality is actually pretty good from what I'm seeing. You know, everything's tight, lines are cut to good size, compressor's on its own, suspension system, so you're not going to have roof vibration from it. Everything looks pretty good. So I'm actually going to be pulling these wires out. They run into the interior cab on this, but I'm going to pull them out and tuck them out this way because we're going to run them on the roof. We're not going to run them through the interior because that's going to work best for me, but it's nice that you can just pull those out and make that happen. That's a pretty long run. But maybe, just maybe, you have enough wire to make it down this little hole and kind of to an area we can reach on the back of the fridge, because it's a long ways down. Well, crud. It's about the exact spot I didn't want that to stop. It's roughly right in the middle of this wall. All right, well, we'll make it work. I do have this coil of wire left over here, right gauge, nice copper, flexible. Not sure what I was doing with it, but must have been making battery cables or something. This will work. So we're gonna have to put a lug on there, tie these guys in there, and bring them all the way down so I can get to them. That's my next project, and then go ahead and get this stuff to the battery and find a place to mount all our solar stuff as well while we're back here. All right, guys, through the magic of TV, I've done an hour's worth of work. And you just get to see the finished product. So I've got our battery cable. So got a bolted lug on up there, you know, where the wire was. And then it's going down through here, through the back of all the cabinets, and over to the battery. I got it in the battery box, actually. You can see it down there. But then, as I was pulling the battery out, I remembered something. I really wanted to put a power inverter with part of the solar system to power the fridge, because, you know, residential fridge now doesn't work off of propane. So while we're traveling down the road, the fridge is off, which has been okay for short 1 or 2 hour away trips. But if I take a longer one, the food's gonna get warm. We don't want that. So I'm gonna hook up a power inverter also to the battery system and just wire all this stuff together the right way. Since I'm already down here, already wiring stuff, might as well. Okay, anyway, that's our standard stock battery. I have 2 lithium batteries in the front of this thing. They're wired separately, and then they're linked together with a fuse in between. So it's all being charged, but this is going to be the most convenient place for us to get to, you know, battery connections, because it's all, you know, right here. I got all the cupboards out. Look at this guy. Renogy Pure Sine Wave, 1000 watt, 12 volt to 110 volt DC to AC power inverter. Very nice. I've been using Renogy for years, and they've been a sponsor of the channel. Good quality product. This wasn't too expensive. 1000 watts is going to be perfect. Just need to power this fridge, and I'm going to put like an outlet here that'll run off the inverter as well. So, you know, if we're at a place without hookups, I can use the solar to power 1 or 2 AC appliances. So we're going to go ahead and wire this guy up too. I'm going to put these lugs. These are nice. You know, what is this, 4 gauge, 5 gauge, about what we need. Copper ends. I'm going to run that to the battery, to the charger posts, back in, bolt that back up over here where you can't see, and also hook up our air conditioner, which is already sitting over its hull. And then we'll put the rest of it together, wire up the control panel, and test it all out. Well, it's coming along pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Power is hooked up. Got a 150 amp inline fuse on the whole system right at the battery. That way, if we have any problems, you know, pop. So that should be good for our protection there. And since I'm already on the roof, I got to finish up there. I might as well. Let's get the solar done real quick, and then we'll go ahead and finish with the inside box and everything on the air conditioner. Renogy's got this guy out. I don't know if they sent me this one or if I paid for this one. It's just been in a box for years, but it's a little dirty. You know, things are a mess around here. Sometimes I order stuff a year in advance, and it sits. I'm going to be hooking this guy up with 2 or 3 of these panels that I have sitting over here. Yeah, them guys. Actually depends on how many Z brackets I have sitting around. I think I'm about out. I might only have enough to do 2 panels, so that's all we would do. But they're 180 watts piece, so that should be good enough to get our solar powered air conditioner up and running. It's just taking care of a lot of last minute stuff here, you know. She needs some stuff. We're getting it done. Okay, time to wire up our solar real quick, and then we'll finish up this AC and give her a test. Guys, you know how it goes. Sometimes you're listening to, Turnpike Troubadours. You don't want to shut it off, so you can record a video. I was jamming out. But anyway, that's what that looks like. It's done. Okay, there's our solar panels. There's our line, our air conditioner. Everything's mounted. Everything goes down through the old roof vent for what used to be the refrigerator. So, good to go up here. I'm going to jump down. We'll put some lap sealant over those before we're done. But let's go wire this thing up on the interior. Call it a day. See if it works. All right, got a bit of a mess, I got to clean up and put all the drawers and cabinets back together, but everything's wired up. I got to make a hole for the on-off switch for our little inverter, but, couldn't find a good spot for that, so right there is where it's at. Okay, I'll put the switch for the inverter here, and then probably a little outlet right there. Then we could put a coffee pot back there or something. Maybe I'll put the outlet over here. Then we'll put the coffee pot back there so you can run it on solar. Fantastic news. Coffee and AC. Okay, since it's wired up, let's go ahead and put our interior trim panel and control panel up. It's looks pretty straightforward, but essentially it all goes together the same. This piece is going to bolt on top of this. Alright, that's going to be our forced air coming back out. This piece is a sleeved piece that goes inside of it. So you can have different thicknesses of sealing. And that one's going to screw up inside there like that. Also got this nice metal ring. It's not aluminum or anything. It's actually welded steel. This is our clamp basically. It'll go up there. The bolts run up to the air conditioner and sandwich it, squeeze it together between our roof panels. So that's pretty great. And we have a little digital control panel we put on. And then that'll be about it. We'll be ready to test in just a few minutes here. Let me screw all this together with the supplied screws. Let's see what happens. I think they might have envisioned this as a good option for people doing hashtag van life. Little Sprinter van, thin roof, right? Even with insulation, maybe that much. Those bolts are going to work great. They probably weren't expecting it to be used with another air conditioner as a double unit on a fifth wheel this size. That alignment position in English. And nope, that is unfortunately not going to make it to our bracket. So, note to self, the supplied hardware is not long enough if you have 6-7 inch thick RV ceiling, such as this one here. They're just too short. The backups were these, which are even shorter. Definitely not going to work, so that is unfortunate. They should supply longer bolts. I'm assuming they did that because they didn't want you to screw up all the way through the top or something, but there should be something longer because fifth wheels are pretty normal. And let's face it, this is my roof thickness. Should be able to go through that, but it does not. Well, unfortunately, as I suspected, the plastic ductwork that's supposed to slide together for different thicknesses of roof is about that far apart from touching each other, so this isn't going to work. That is unfortunate. They definitely need to fix that. That is a major flaw. This is not that unusual of a roof. It's a little bit thicker, but like I said, that's it. About 6. Sure. Anyway, so I'm going to have to build a little ductwork sleeve out of some aluminum real quick, and then going to have to go get some bolts. But I don't know, maybe we can screw this up there real quick so we have a control panel, and let's just see if it works. It has got to be 102 inside here. I'm drenched. The humidity's got to be 90% or higher. Even the camera's foggy. It's bad. I just hooked up the control panel, so yeah, we're gonna see if it works. Gotta try to end on a positive note here. Hopefully everything works good, and then I'll build the things it needs and get the lower beauty ring installed. I think it's gonna be nice, but might as well see if it works, right? Let's just satisfying. Got no power hooked up right now. We're not outside in the sun, but the batteries still have 12.7 volts, so let's put some power to it. Celsius. Oh, we don't want that.
It's not working as
Oh. Things are happening. Let's turn the fan all the way up. Auto? No, we want high fan. Oh, I heard a compressor kick on. It's actually really quiet. And no real vibration. Doesn't sound like 15 hair dryers blowing at once like the full size units. She's on max right now. I can hear it, but I can still have a conversation. Now once I put all the ducting up here, it's gonna be even quieter, but oh yeah, it's getting cold already. We like that, because it's hot. I want it to not be hot. Very nice, okay. Well, at least it works. I'm gonna go see what our battery voltage dropped to, check my wiring, go over a few things on it, and everything looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and find the extra parts I need to make this work for my camper. If you're doing a custom install on your camper, keep in mind you might have to do some custom fabrication, nothing major. I know you guys can do it. It's working good though so far. Alright, looking at the charge controller, we definitely dropped voltage quite a bit. This is picking up from the same place that the air conditioner is, so we dropped down to 12 volts out of 12.7. No sun because we're in the shop, so I think the charge controller will help alleviate some of that, but you know, this is working. It's definitely pulling some power though. Oh, 89. It's hotter than 89. This is not the best thermometer for this, but it's going to tell me surface temperature based off of infrared readings. So, you know, it says the countertop's 90 degrees. What's the ceiling up here? Ceiling's also 90. Okay. Let's see. It's not going to be able to tell me what the air temperature is, but this is plastic in here. What's that look like? 46 degrees. I'd say she's working. From 90 down to 46, that is very acceptable to me. Awesome. Cool. Well, the unit's quiet. It moves a decent amount of air, not as much as our 15,000 BTU 110 unit over there, but you know, she's moving a lot of air. Pretty happy with that. Once I get this guy on, I think it's going to be a little bit quieter. Plus, we're going to be able to use the ducting to, you know, shoot some air out that way, and maybe close it up a little bit more in the back here. But it's working good. Pretty happy with that. All the wiring looks good. It's not getting warm or anything. Just have those couple of flaws, guys. We got to build a little 2-inch ductwork extension here, so that guy will reach up to our ceiling, to our roof unit, and basically the same thing here. Need longer bolts. Alright guys, it's actually the day that I'm editing this video, and I forgot that I actually finished it. I welded those short and long all thread rods together. Problem solved. You just weld them together, and then it'll you know, fits your big ceiling. Pretty cool. Anyway, all installed, working good. Running off batteries right now, and AC is on, 73 degrees, very comfortable. We're actually finishing up a couple minor details inside this camper and cleaning it up and getting it organized because lake time is coming. Excited about that. Guys, check out the links in the description. There's also a discount code for the CountryMod Pro Air Conditioner. They got some other stuff on the website. Check that stuff out. And, you know, so far, thumbs up. Wiring's looking good. Got everything dialed on this thing. Solar is powering that stuff, so very excited. You know, having 2 air conditioners is going to be awesome at the lake, and having one that, you know, when I go to the mountains and stuff and don't have power hookups and we're boondocking, even better. Thank you guys so much for watching today. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you in the next episode.